Hello there, welcome to the channel, welcome back perhaps. We've got one more little thing that we want to look at with this setup that we're using for a new song that we're trying to record. The song being Existence is Resistance. And this final thing is something that's a little bit more complicated than designing a tone or choosing what kind of reverb, delay to use, as in the previous two videos. We're actually looking at something that I don't understand as well as I would like to yet, which is compression. We have our mirror up here, and one of the things that's on our nice long to-do list of experimental pedalboard stuff, that is experimental for us because we don't know everything yet, is to try compression at different points in the chain. Now, it should be said, what we used compression for before that was very helpful was we found a particular area of the clarinet which was quieter than other areas. We previously to that had played around with compression without much luck. You can probably find that video somewhere on the channel. But we found that around the G area of the clarinet, that's not the lowest G but the one above, like the highest in the Shalomo register, was quieter in volume when it was going through fuzz, and basically we ended up compensating for that using compression, and it made the tone very nice. So we made a note of the setting that we used there. I believe that's in a video somewhere as well, and we tried it with this setup and it didn't seem to work. I do not know why, but we're going to just document that, play around with it a little bit, and on the mkII we've actually got the compression set up in a few different places, so we can actually try it at different points on the chain and see how that affects things. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is try it in the usual place, the place it was before. So we believe that we have everything set up as it was before. The float is going. We've got it through the Fuzz Page Mark II module in the Jackson Audio Modular Fuzz, with the volumes set up very similar to how they were previously, if not exactly the same. And we'll see what the fuzz does. Before that, though, our samples are the same ones that we've been using for the song Existence is Resistance. Here they are as just contrabass clarinet samples. So that's the verse and chorus licks. And now with the fuzz. Okay. So, one thing worth mentioning is that the stakes are not particularly high here. We've already decided that we are happy to record this track without compression in the chain. Obviously, we would like to have some in mastering, if appropriate. But we're not aiming to get this perfect. So we're just going to play around a little bit with, first of all, a couple of settings with the mirror, and then we are going to try it in different positions. So we will stick with our verse lick, I think, for the time being, and add in the mirror. We'll switch it on here. Okay. So this is with the mirror straight after the fuzz, as we would have had it previously. Okay, so quick note that that was actually the chorus lick that we started with, not the verse. We will try to stick with the verse one because it's got some longer notes. But there's definitely something different there. First of all, another reason this is low stakes is because the thing that we were trying to compensate for with the compression, mainly the volume difference at certain areas on the clarinet, those areas of the clarinet are not included in this song. The other thing is that compared to previous times that we've used compression successfully, this seems to, for some reason, be making the attack harsher, which is something that we've worked to overcome with the float. So, one thing we notice is that the threshold is getting started very easily. It's being triggered very early on. So we wonder if perhaps we don't need to change the threshold. So we're going to play around with that a little bit and see what happens there. The main chorus riff is going to be better because there's more tonguing. Okay, so for whatever reason, we're not getting a good response with the compression. I'm not going to worry about it too much because, like I say, there's not particularly high stakes here. We're happy to not use compression for this particular track. But what we are curious to do is to try compression at different points in the chain as like a preliminary experiment for deeper exploration. So we're going to put settings back to roughly what they were. It could also be that what we need to do is actually excuse me while I do this. Yeah, could be what we need to do is have some music going, like have some clarinet samples going that are in the range that we are trying to compensate. So it could be that this is not anything more than a little side quest, shall we say. Okay, so we can get rid of that, and now we are going to go to this one, which is as before, a version with the compression, an order with the compression before the fuzz. So we're going to take out the space bender for now. Might be interesting to add that in later. We're going to add the compression in, and let's see how this goes. May even be interesting to try this without the float, just to get more of a basic feel. Let's try, first of all with the float, then without. I'll tell you what, we'll do just the sample, then we'll add compression, see if we can get something, then we'll take the float off. Okay, so we've got compression where it wants to be. We've got the space bender offline. Let's put that on so that it's ready to go. Okay, great. So definitely noticing that it's the same, even though it's the compression is before the fuzz. It's still reacting very quickly to the sound. So yeah, let's take another look. Play with that threshold a little. Okay, like I can definitely hear a small improvement there. It might not be much, but it feels like there's more body with the compression on. And you saw how high or how sensitive we had to make the compression in order to actually have it not be like always on, for it to be like responding. And that was when it actually cut the excuse me, that's when it actually cut the attack. So so I mean the heavy attack that the compression was causing seemed to be reduced. Okay, we could definitely play around more with that, but I think that we're going to take it as an improvement for now. We're going to also try having the space bender, so with and without compression. Yeah, I can hear a difference there. It's only a small one. It's making the sound a little bit rounder in the lower end. I'm sure there's a better way of describing that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to add in some dry signal using the Grand Canyon in parallel with the space bender. Let us okay. I'm not hearing that much difference there. And my overall kind of feeling is that we would probably be better off not including it, because not including the compression, I mean, because if it's pretty much the same with and without, then let's go without. The final thing that we're going to try is to put it after the space bender and the fuzz combined. So let's return things to roughly their original settings again. Just as a, I noticed that we've got a lot of makeup here. And we cut that a lot when we found the right threshold for that that pre fuzz compression. Hopefully that makes sense there. Okay, So we have one more preset we're going to use. And this is the one that will put the uh-oh, I made a mistake. The one that we were just looking at, that was with the compression after. That was the compression after. My apologies. That was the compression after the space bender and the fuzz. So when we were doing it, that last setting without the space bender, we were actually finding the solution for the first thing that we were playing around with, namely how to do a setup for just the fuzz. Well, please excuse the error, and now let's try it before. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, although I guess it's not really such an inconvenience for you, is it? We were disturbed by our SD card running out, and then it very rudely got dark. So we were just about to do something nice and exciting, which was to run the compression through the fuzz and add the compression before the fuzz is what we're doing now. Okay, so let's take that back up again. Here's our riff without the fuzz. I'm sorry, our riff without the compression. Interesting tail there, but not one that we really need. Taking it off by changing the decay of the compression. Let's make the attack a little slower. We're really getting anything. Let's try with the other one. Interesting. I think that that is something that we would do well to explore another time. It does seem that compression at the beginning of the chain, before the fuzz, does something very nice. We shall be coming back to it. I don't think we need it for this track. Let's try one more thing though. Let's try the space bender after that. So here we are, no compression. Yeah, I am not hearing a heck of a lot of difference there, has to be said. Okay, let's try one more thing. The sound that we're going to be using for the actual recording, which is with the dry signal in there as well, coming through the Grand Canyon, which is not currently turned on. Here we go. Okay, I think we're going to call that a day there. There's definitely something going on there, and I do think it may be something to do with sustain. In other words, when we have a sustained note, it having a more consistent quality, which is something that guitar players talk a lot about compression doing. But I do feel that for now that is more than enough of that. I don't think we're going to be including compression this time, and that is absolutely fine. Yeah, I think with that we're going to leave it there. Thank you for sticking around this long, assuming that you have, because that's been a bit of a journey there. Please excuse the mistake earlier with the different what's it called, presets, and I hope this has been interesting and enjoyable for you, at least as interesting and enjoyable for you as it's been for us. And yeah, in the meantime, until we get another of these videos out, thank you for being with us on this journey through the 3 different looks at the Existence's Resistance tracks. All music copyrighted by me. In the meantime, be well.